Gypsy Rose Blanchard and P. Diddy. Let's start with Gypsy Rose. Basically, she's saying she's going silent for her family now. She's had a baby shower. She's going to be delivering her baby. She's also revealed the name of the child. We're going to hear the latest information. Thank you for joining me. If you'd like to donate to this great network, $ McAngie 129 Cash App. Stickers and chats are always welcome during the live stream. Let's hear this new nonsense. Hello, Sammy P. Thank you for joining me. Waiting for it to upload. Hey, darling. Hope you're well. Always something with her, is it not? Always something, I tell you. Never ending.
Gypsy Rose Blanchard's baby girl's name revealed. Gypsy Rose Blanchard's baby girl's name has been revealed 2 months before her birth. The mother-to-be celebrated her baby shower with her family and friends. That being said, her future daughter's name was displayed. So, what moniker will she be using? Keep reading for more details. Gypsy Rose Blanchard's baby girl's name revealed. She has not even been out of jail for a year, and now Gypsy Rose Blanchard is going to be mother. Gypsy is still married to her husband, Ryan Scott Anderson.
Hey, Dawn.
Yet, she left him after 3 months of being free because it was not working. She claimed she just was not in love with him the way he was with her and moved back home with her parents, Rod and Christy Blanchard. Gypsy had been locked up for the murder of her mother, Dee Dee Blanchard. However, she was released after serving 85% of her sentence. When things fell apart between Gypsy and Ryan, she reconnected with her true love, Ken Urker. They moved quickly and found out they were pregnant. Since she and Ryan were still married, his name would go on the birth certificate. The duo would have to be divorced for 300 days before the birth for his name to not be on it, or he would have to sign an affidavit. There were questions about paternity, but Gypsy did a test to prove Ken was the dad. Now, it is time for the baby shower, and it was a fun and fabulous day for all. According to People, her baby's name was even revealed. Gypsy Rose Blanchard and Ken Urker will name their daughter Aurora Raina Urker. Aurora was a name that has been floated around for some time, so it should not be a surprise. Of the shower, the mama-to-be had this to say. Gypsy's stepmother, Christy, and her half-sister, Mia, were in attendance, while her father, Rod, was offshore working. Fans will get to celebrate. The baby shower was filmed for a new season of Gypsy Rose. Life after lockup. However, the same day of the shower, rumors ran rampant. Urker had broken up with Gypsy. This has been circulating for a short while. It was further exacerbated by Gypsy Rose Blanchard shutting down her social media accounts. She claimed she wanted a more private life and would only have accounts for friends and family. Yet, Ken was right there by her side for the shower. It may have been all for show, but they looked fairly happy. What do you think of Gypsy's baby name, and do you believe the couple will make it the long haul? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below.
All right. TVShowAce.com is the source. So, going silent for her family. Rumors that they had broken up, but allegedly he was at the baby shower, Mr. Urker. Still married to Ryan Scott Anderson. And they have to be divorced 300 days before the child is born, which we already know the child is on its way and due in January. So are they going to finalize this divorce anytime soon? But the law says 300 days before. So if you sign it today, sign it tomorrow, sign it in December, that won't be 300 days. So he has to sign an affidavit, obviously, I guess, to affirm that he's not the father and or get proof that he's not the father. I don't know how that goes. But she's claiming she's already got testing done, which most people, I believe that's dangerous to get that done because you have to go inside of the womb and the amnio fluid to get a sample to prove paternity. My thing is, why do you have to prove it? Yeah, people are going to talk, people are going to gossip. That's just what people do. They're going to talk. They're going to talk because, one, you conspired to kill your mother. You've been out of prison a little while. The other person who killed your mother is incarcerated. Some people feel like you shouldn't be out. So people are going to gossip about that on its own. Then you married a guy in prison, which was Ryan. Then you moved in with him. Then you moved out shortly after, which was 3 months later. Moved in with your parents. You were out seeing with this kin person that you had dealings with in prison at one time. Now you two got together. Then you're pregnant. Yeah, you're giving people something to gossip about. Then they were talking about the damn dog. Who had the dog? Why somebody didn't have the dog? Just on and on and on. Meddling from your stepmother. Then Ron, he has to sit on TikTok all damn day and talk about this and that. Everybody's just feeding into this nonsense. And you all are helping them. You all are helping them. That's why I've been saying silence is golden. They meant that. It's golden. Sometimes it's best to be quiet. Let's get the name of this kid. Sweet Jesus, I feel sorry for this baby. I don't know. Should a woman be carrying a baby or having a child who conspired to kill their own mother? People are going to wonder about that. People are going to say, probably, hell no. She does not need to be a parent. But she took the life of a person, even though the mother was cruel. But, you know, everybody's entitled to his or her opinion. Aurora Raina Urker will be the name of the girl child by Gypsy Rose and Ken Urker. Ken and I were so excited to have a beautiful celebration that our daughter, Aurora Raina Urker, can look back on and see how our community welcomed and embraced her with love. She will be supported and given all the happiness a child should experience. Will she? I don't know. That's your public opinion. Allegations she took her social media accounts down because people thought she and Ken were not together. Obviously, they are, I'm assuming. But as they say, we've seen pictures of people at award ceremonies and out on the town, and then we found out they've separated and divorced or filed paperwork. They may have gone to a recital for a child or a soccer game, but they filed for divorce. You hear these stories all the time. So are these two together? How long will they last? What's going to happen with this Ryan Anderson business? Because she is not divorced from him, and she's getting ready to have a baby by another man, allegedly. She swears for God this baby does not belong to Mr. Ryan. Boy, wouldn't that be a debacle? It's Ryan's baby. Whew, shut your mouth. So I don't know when she last had sexual relations with her husband. It's none of my business. But it does look peculiar. You run off, running your parents, and then hook up with Ken, reconnected. My understanding is that you all were talking before you moved in with your parents. That's why you and Ryan were arguing. My understanding also is that you all were arguing over different things. He was possessed of food hoarding, then the Ken Urker business. You were talking to Ken. I think it was a combination of everything. Hello, Patricia, how are you? I think it was a combination of everything. New freedom. He probably was bossy. He probably got tired of her being on social media all the time, tired of her posting all the time. He probably was, trying to tell her what to do, acting like a father. And I think it was just a combination of everything. Her sneaking around talking to Ken. He found out. Hell yeah, he's upset. He's married to you. He wants to know, why would you be talking to this guy that you were tangled up with in prison? He had a chance to be with you. He should have stayed with you, but he left you for a reason. And someone made a comment on a video a few months back. This female made a comment that is so factual. Why would you want to be with Ken Urker when he left you at your most vulnerable time? So I want everyone to think about that comment. When you needed a friend, confidant, companionship the most, which is when you were incarcerated, Ken Urker left you. That's a valid point. Because when people leave you at your lowest point, people aren't supporting you at your lowest point. They're showing you who they are. And we have people like that. They're called fair weather friends. They only around you when you're upbeat, you're in a good mood. But once you're upset, you're depressed, you're sick, you're venting, they don't have use for you. Okay, you talked about that enough, tired of hearing it. Let's talk about something else, until it's their turn. When their foot, back hurts, ankle hurts, somebody's broken their heart, they want somebody to listen. Is that not true? Of course. But that's how people do. Oh, you should be over that by now. Move on. So what? Baby daddy left you. Your husband don't want you. Wife don't want you. Girlfriend left you. Get over it. Life's short. Some of you like that out there, fair weather friends. Everything's okay until it's your turn. I can think of someone like that. Everything is fine when they're upbeat and mobile, but they have a bad day, bad situation. It's all about them. There are a lot of people like that. That's why you have to know the people, the company that you're in. Learn them. When they show you who they are, believe them. And then run like hell. But we usually don't do that, do we? We hang on for dear life. Mr. Ryan, what do you have to say now that she's named the baby, had a baby shower? I think it's time for you also to get off of TikTok. Give it a rest. The girl's been gone since March. It is now November. We are winding this month down. It's almost Thanksgiving. It's time for you to stop talking about Gypsy Rose. Stop entertaining that nonsense in your live streams. Naturally, most people are probably there to talk about her, because I can bet my bottom dollar, sir, that when you stop talking about Gypsy Rose in your live streams, you stop commenting on what she did, said, you will probably have less viewers, because a lot of people like chaos and nonsense. Such as I'm bringing you this content because it's an update, because I've discussed her on this network. When I shut this computer and device down, I'm not thinking about Gypsy Rose. Do you get my drift? It's called entertainment. Updates, breaking news, however you want to word it. The gist of the story is Gypsy Rose is not on Queen's mind. So I'm going to say this to Mr. Ryan. You were married with her, tangled up with her with a dog, so on and so forth. You had dreams, goals. It's now kaput. She was not that into you, as she has kindly put it. I was not that in love with him. Well, you should have known that before you moved in with him. So then we're going to say, well, when did the love die? Or when did the feelings die? Whatever this is you had for Ryan. Or was Ryan just a come up, a step up into the free world? Stay woke. Just somebody to pay for commissary, a place to sleep when you got out of prison. And then once you started moving around and you saw that you were the talk of the town, social media entertainment, hell, who needs Ryan? I've got fans. I've got people who like me. I've got people who want to hear my story. Now she's writing a book. So she's basically saying she's going to update people about the book on social media, but she won't be talking about her child and sharing, I guess, photographs and moments with Ryan and the child and family members. She wants to keep that private. Oh, now, Gypsy. Your fan base will decline because that's what they're looking for. They want to see pictures of you and the baby. They want to see you going live and hear the baby crying in the background, so on and so forth. Some people. Weigh in, everybody. Will this union last with Mr. Urker? What do you think is going to happen when the baby's born and she's still married legally to Ryan? Because I got a feeling you all are still going to be married, because you left in March allegedly. That's a long time. So what is the holdup with you all signing documents? My understanding is that you all are bounded by legalities pertaining to entertainment purposes, such as this love and lockup business and other future ventures. Maybe you all sign contracts with other people with both your names on the dotted line. Maybe perhaps you also had that money's going into the same account. I don't know. I don't know their personal business, but that's just what I brought to you all recently about why they had not divorced officially. This is why you have to know the laws in your land when you decide to jump the broom. You got to know the laws. His state and the state of North Carolina want you separated for a year before divorcing. So that means you two fall out, you decide you want to go your separate ways. State of North Carolina, Louisiana, you have to visibly be living in a different domain. So that means he has to live over here, you have to live over here, and it has to be proven for 1 year before you can get a divorce. Now, I've brought you content before. Someone I know had the same dilemma many years ago when she had a trifling, nasty husband. He was a whore, sleeping around with everything in town. She had to go through the same process in the state of North Carolina. They went their separate ways, but couldn't get a divorce. because they had to be legally living in separate homes. Boy, was that a mess. And I've shared that story on this network. So please know your state laws. Now, let's get on to Sean Puffy Combs. Thank you for joining me. Boy, what a mess. What a mess on that, Mr. Sean. The Sean is just all over the place. They just keep coming up with nonsense about him. His cell was raided, he says. Was his cell raided? Was his cell raided when they had that raid a few weeks ago and they just didn't want to tell us the whole truth? Sean Puffy Combs cell raided. Let's see. There's a lot of gossip. Sean Diddy Combs' $62 million LA mansion with alleged ties to freak-offs has received no serious offers. So obviously he's trying to sell that house, I'm assuming. Lots of new stuff. So here it is right here, Realtor.com. Sean Diddy Combs' raided LA mansion remains on the market for $61.5 million as he's arrested for sex trafficking charges. So he's obviously trying to sell his LA home. Also, he's trying to take equity out of his mother's home, which I thought was pretty jacked up. You've got these two fancy houses that are worth a lot of money. You should also have money in real estate dealings and stocks and bonds. Why didn't you take equity out of your mother's home? That's pretty shady, I think. It's just ridiculous. Okay, got to pull up the latest here. They're not showing it. What I'm looking for. Let's see. Sean Combs update. Okay. 7 hours ago, BBC, Diddy is calling witnesses from prison. These are the latest events. Judge sets last-minute hearing after new notes found. Let's hear what that's about. So we have one woman that he's reached out to that was a protege of his band, a band he had with some women, two women. And they say he's reached out to her and paid her off to counter what Dawn Richards has claimed brought forward an allegation against him. So the other bandmate he's reached out to have her post a social media commentary to counter her claims, counter Dawn's claims against him. So now he's trying to pit two friends or associates against one another. Let's see what they have to say about Diddy notes, because notes were found in his cell. He's claiming they were illegally seized. It's a violation of his amendments. Constitutional rights. So do you believe his rights were violated by them going in his cell and pulling out notes to his lawyer? Were his rights violated? A hearing in the Sean Diddy Combs case will be held Tuesday after the defense accused prosecutors of unlawfully seizing materials from Combs' jail cell. 55-year-old Combs, rapper, producer, was indicted on sex trafficking, racketeering in September. The indictment accuses him running a criminal enterprise operating over 7 years that involves coercing individuals to participate in various sexual acts. Combs has pleaded not guilty to the charges. On Friday, prosecutors accused Combs of concealing communications from jail and running social media campaigns to taint potential jurors and leak information that could be helpful to his case. They also allege that he has contacted witnesses through third parties. Also, they're saying that he used other jailmates' accounts to reach out to others. And did these relatives, friends pay money on the books for these said inmates? Let's ask that. If he has used their phone accounts to talk to people on the outside, which makes no sense, he should be able to use his own accounts. He should have access to, Wi-Fi if they have Wi-Fi and the iPad or whatever. Sean should have that on his own. So I don't know why he'd be needing to use other people's accounts. So maybe he is doing some shady business behind closed doors in the jail. In a letter filed Monday, the defense said that prosecutors acknowledged that they possessed possibly privileged materials such as notes recovered from the defendant's cell during bail arguments last week. The defense called the search of Combs' cell and seizure of personal items and paperwork an outrageous government conduct amounting to a substantive due process violation. Wow. His trial will start May 5th, 2025. Combs is being held at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn. His lawyers are trying to advocate for his release on bail, while prosecutors argue that he should remain in jail ahead of his trial. The judge has already denied bail for Combs twice. This is a matter of grave concern that must be addressed immediately. Defense attorney told Judge Arun Subramanian. A bail hearing for Combs is scheduled for Friday, but the defense requested an immediate hearing for prosecutors to explain who authorized the search of Combs' cell. Jesus, it's like a soap opera. Combs' lawyers accused prosecutors of viewing Combs' privileged notes to his lawyers concerning defense witnesses and defense strategies. So what strategies had he came up with to try to get himself out this debacle with Miss Ventura, plus these other civil suits against him? What's actually going to be mentioned in court? Just the allegations from Ventura, or will they call in other witnesses to corroborate similar activity and behavior by Sean Puffy Combs? Combs is facing a maximum sentence of life if convicted. Combs is also facing multiple lawsuits accusing him of sexual assault. In a press conference last month, Texas-based attorney Tony Bugsby said he was representing 120 alleged victims as they seek legal counsel against him. Racketeering is a criminal act where the person or people involved set up a coercive, fraudulent, or otherwise illegal scheme or operation to make money. Is this true? Because people can say, use racketeering for all types of things, such as with the Young Thug trial. They use racketeering for that. He and his cohorts were conspiring to do wrong, illegal drug selling, threatening people, hurting people, harming people, unaliving people. Is this the same? Is this the same what Sean was doing, such as what John Gotti was doing with the mob? Stay woke, because that's how this all came to be. This racketeering charge came into fruition. It's because of the mob, if you did not know that. The crime is mainly defined through the 1970 U.S. Racketeer Influence and Corrupt Organizations RICO Act. Over 30 states and territories have adopted RICO law as well. Oh, so they say it's from 1970. Oh, I always thought it came around because of Mr. John Gotti. Excuse me. Do you have a story for Newsweek? No, I do not. Queen ain't got no story. This is a hot butter mess. So his sale was raided. They've taken paperwork, notes. What is in the notes? What is in the notes? Anything incriminating that has nothing to do with lawyer talk, lawyer strategies? What's going on? Hello, Charles. Thank you for joining me. Hello, everybody in the chat. Welcome to the Vault XL. What's in his notes? What is his strategy? What is Sean Puffy Combs' strategy? Does he have witnesses? Did he have witnesses' names in those paperwork, in the paperwork? Whose names are in it? What was he talking about? What was he saying to the lawyer? Did he have anybody in that paperwork that could help exonerate him from the allegations? What's in the paperwork? What's the strategy? I'd like to know what the strategy is, because the tape has already been released, and they're worried about the tape. They feel like the prosecutors, the feds released this tape of him beating up Miss Ventura. Well, the prosecutors say they haven't released anything. They are not the culprits behind the tape. So who released the tape? Who had access to the tape? How many copies of the tapes floating around? Disc, files, whatever. Sean, you have been busy. That's the point. And then everybody's not lying, because there's too many things that are being said about you with a receipt. See, it's one thing to make up things about a person. Say, he did this, she did this, they did this to me, blah, blah, blah. But when you can bring a receipt such as text messages, voicemails, and video surveillance, what is left? What is left to be said? You're on tape beating a woman. She also has text messages. They have also been released by the federal government. For those who did not know, go ahead and throw that out there because there's a lot of content on Sean right now. Text messages have been released by the federal government that she wrote to him and vice versa after the beating at the hotel, where she describes him throwing her around like a rag doll. She was tired of him putting his hands on her when he's geeked up on dope. Wow. Sean Diddy Combs is trying to obstruct his sex trafficking case. These are the latest commentary pertaining to this fool. Now, his bail, his team wants a new bail hearing, I guess, because of the seizing of evidence from his cell. Well, what is in the damn cell? Once again, Friday he will have a hearing pertaining to bail and I guess this new information. Let's see what CNN has to say. What do you mean where he's at? He's in damn jail. What the hell you think he is? Where he should be. That's where he is. Sean Diddy Combs is trying to corruptly influence witness testimony and take the jury pool from jail, prosecutors say. Wow. Sean. Dirty, dirty boy. A review of recorded calls from the Metropolitan Detention Center revealed Combs used the telephone accounts of at least 8 inmates to allegedly evade monitoring. Prosecutors said they also alleged he paid the inmates through intermediaries in violation of the rules. Wow. So what? He signed a document when he got locked up? I never heard of this. Help the queen understand. Did he sign an NDA when he got locked up? Because usually when you go to jail, you go to jail. Now they have rules, of course, when you're in jail, what you're not supposed to be doing. So I'm trying to understand what's a violation of the rules. It says they also alleged he paid inmates through intermediaries in violation of the rules. Combs had also used three-way calls to reach certain individuals not on an approved contact list and had used a non-authorized third-party system to send hundreds of text messages of dozens of individuals, including those not on the list. So how did he send the messages? Help the queen understand. He used what? The iPads? Because usually they give you iPads in jail. So what? He used other people's iPads to send what? Messages through Instagram, Facebook. Hey, holla at me. I need you to do this. I need you to do that. So what's going to happen to those other inmates? Will their privilege be taken for extending their data, however they got it, whatever they have? It's so damn ridiculous. It's like high school. The new allegations were revealed in a court filing late Friday as federal prosecutors argue Combs should not be entitled to another bail hearing. Combs' defense team declined comment. He is due back in court on Friday. Combs is housed at the Metropolitan Center in Brooklyn, where he's awaiting trial on sex trafficking, racketeering, conspiracy, prostitution-related charges. He's pleaded not guilty in the past year. Combs has also been accused of multiple civil lawsuits of sexual assault and other misconduct, which he has denied. The music mogul has sought to contact potential witnesses, including accusers, prosecutors said, with the goal of blackmailing them to keep quiet or provide testimony to help his defense. Since the defendant has been detained at MDC, he has continued to try to evade law enforcement monitoring, corruptly influence witness testimony, and further attack the integrity of these proceedings, the prosecutor wrote. Prosecutors say that while attempting to evade law enforcement monitoring, the defendant has, among other things, orchestrated social media campaigns that are, in his own words, aimed at tainting the jury pool, made efforts to publicly leak materials he views as helpful to his case, and contact witnesses through third parties. So, Sean, what is it that you're going to leak out? Such as what? We already got tapes floating around. News Nation has verified a famous person or persons in some of the tapes. They will not say who he is, she. So What is it that you're getting ready to reveal? What? Help us understand. What is it that you're getting ready to reveal to the public? After his arrest in September, prosecutors have said multiple times that the government's investigation into Combs is ongoing and active. A federal grand jury has been regularly convening in the continuing criminal investigation, CNN reported October 31st. So he's still in the hot seat, government-wise. The latest legal filing in the case comes 1 week after Judge Aaron Subramanian rejected Combs' attempt to silence all potential witnesses, saying Combs' concerns do not outweigh an accuser's right to free speech. So the lawyer, November 8th gag order came as Combs' legal team filed its latest request seeking release from jail based on new information. They argued that undercuts the prosecution's allegations that Combs forced women and others to engage in drug-fueled, days-long sex acts. Oh, Lord. So Sean wanted a gag order on these eyewitnesses and witnesses. Combs was twice denied bail, first by the magistrate judge who he appeared before, and again by the trial judge assigned to the case. That judge recused himself, and the case was transferred to Subramanian. So why did that judge recuse himself? I'm curious. In his court filing with numerous redactions, Combs' attorneys claim that information they've obtained from prosecutors negates the government's claim that there is a second victim, in addition to victim one, as identified in the indictment, and weakens prosecutors' allegation of witness tampering. Okay. Identified in the indictment, victim one. So you're saying there's no victim two, Mr. Sean Puffy Combs. The new material demonstrates that the government previously misrepresented the weight of the evidence, and it undermines the government's claim that Mr. Combs presents a danger, Combs' lawyers wrote. Well, some people are going to argue he is a danger. That's why the that's why the judge denied this last bail. Because, as she said, I don't know what you're going to do out there, or the first judge, excuse me. I don't know what you're going to do out there. We've already seen what you've done while being investigated before you even got arrested, first of the year. You were talking to people. So you're going to say, well, I want to pay this much to get out, $50 million. I promise I won't do anything. Put me on an ankle monitor. I won't talk to anybody. You're doing it behind jail now. You're using other people's accounts to contact people. So why would they let you out where you have free range to play on your cell phone, Messenger, Instagram, hell, even call people to go tap on somebody's damn windowsill? Come on now, Sean. Stop the nonsense. In its Friday filing opposing the renewed motion for bail, prosecutors say Combs rehashes the same arguments rejected by two previous judges, and the defendant offers nothing new and material justifying a third bail hearing. Well, he's probably feeling like he needs a bail because you all raided his room, his apartment, and took paperwork out of there that was supposed to be for his lawyers, allegedly. Prosecutors say after the judge ordered both sides to limit their public statements, Combs directed his family members to post on social media to influence the public's perception, including a video of his children celebrating Combs' birthday. The defendant from within the MDC then monitored the analytics, audience engagement, and explicitly discussed with his family how to ensure that the video had his desired effect on potential jury members in this case, prosecutors said. Well, I don't really care that his children gathered for his birthday. I don't care if they sung Kumbaya or they gathered at Pizza Hut or the finest restaurant in New York. They shot up balloons and champagne corks. Who cares? He's still locked up. So it doesn't matter that they gathered together. They've been taking photos together. That still doesn't negate the charges, the allegations against him, and all these people coming out with civil suits against Mr. Combs. So them posting a video and pictures doesn't mean anything to me. Now, maybe some other vulnerable people, weak-minded individuals will get a soft spot in their heart and be like, oh, this is terrible. He should be free. Well, as somebody said, would you like him to be monitoring your children, taking care of your children, taking your children under his wing to pretend that he's going to make them famous? Hell no. So then you need to be quiet. because there are too many people chirping at the moment, chirping. And I don't believe all these people are making these allegations up. Although they're late to the table, I believe most of the allegations. Let's just say that. Okay. Once again, defendants offers nothing new pertaining to him getting a third bail hearing. Specific examples of how Combs has sought to relay messages to the public to advance his pledge of innocence are blacked out in the filing. Wonder what those are. Prosecutors say exception, if you believe that. The defendant from within the MDC then monitored the analytics and i.e., the engagements. Just going over all that again. Combs' inability to follow the rules in federal custody suggests he wouldn't abide by any bail conditions set by a judge, prosecutors said. And that's exactly what co-signed by Combs, his mother, the adult sons, and others. They proposed home detention with GPS monitoring, 24/7 monitoring by private security. Yeah, whose security that's going to be? It ain't going to be by the government, because then people will be raising hell that the government is paying money to watch Sean Puffy Combs. So that ain't going to work either. And if it's his own private security, that ain't going to work either. Visitors will be limited to Combs' lawyers and family members under the latest proposal. In his prior bail proposal, Combs did not seek to exclude employees, friends, or others from visiting. Of course, because he's going to want whomever to come. That's why he's not going to get out, because it sounds preposterous. Because people get out all the time on pretrial release, ankle monitoring, and they don't tell you who can come in the house and can't come in the house. You rarely hear that type of conversation when people are released on pretrial release and released with ankle monitors. They still go do all type of things during the hours that they're supposed to be working or going to school or taking a trade. And if they're really dirty, they'll cut the damn monitor off and go on the run. Now, I don't see him cutting off a monitor, but I also don't see him being released back home. Because as they're saying here, the prosecutors, he's already making contact with outsiders in the jail that are not on the contact list by the jail. So that means he would do the same if released. And he also did it the first of this year when he knew he was being investigated by the feds. He was wrangling and calling people and talking to people. We also hear Ray J putting his 2 cents in that others tangled up with him are paying off witnesses or scared that their name is going to be mentioned. So they're seeking to get information to who's on the tapes. Well, if you were there with him and you had sex with him and others, you know you're on the tape. So what do you talk to Ray J about? I don't know if Ray J's telling the truth or not, because that's information that's already been released. And as for Ray J, Suge Knight, the butcher, the baker, candlestick maker, just be quiet. You two are the only ones talking about Sean Puffy Combs. Nobody else is talking about him. Now, Leslie, one of these other females, has come forward. She's in one of his bands. She's released some commentary to the public. I don't know what she has to say, but her best bet is to shut up and be. What's the point? Why get yourself tangled up in the he said, she said of it all? I just wouldn't. Let's see, who else got something to say? It's just sad. Contacting witnesses. Yeah, one of the other ladies that was in one of the bands, she released a statement, I think countering the allegations from Miss Dawn, the other band member. It's all a big mess. That's the latest, everybody. Hearing on Friday. Notes seized from his cell. And I won't doubt these notes were probably seized when they did that raid weeks ago where they acted like it had nothing to do with Sean Puffy Combs. Because remember, I brought you that information and they said, oh, no, it doesn't have anything to do with Sean. Well, I don't know about that. Because now we hear, allegedly you've been in his cell and taken private notes from him. So did you all take notes that he wrote to his lawyer? And why would you do that? Because you know better. But then you got to say, is there something in the notes that has nothing to do with legal strategies, and it's something that's nefarious in nature? But naturally, he can't discuss any crimes to be in the future, because that would be against legal ethics, and the lawyer would have to tell law enforcement of any crimes he was trying to commit while incarcerated. It says some details in the prosecution's filings were redacted, including excerpts of phone calls apparently made by Diddy and his adult son that the prosecution say show the clear inference that the defendant's goal is to blackmail victims and witnesses either into silence or providing testimony helpful to his defense. Prosecutors wrote that there is no condition that could be set to assure Combs is not a flight risk or a threat to the safety of others. You can best believe he would be messing with people and sending messages to people if he got out. The defendant has demonstrated an uncanny ability to get others to do his bidding. Employees, family members, MDC inmates alike. So now you got to ask if anybody working for the MDC is on the payroll, such as corrections officers. Have any of you officers been bidding for Sean Puffy Combs? Wow, wow, wow. I won't doubt that he reached out to Cassie after the video was released. She would be the main person he would reach out to. Combs posted on Instagram, which has now been removed, that infamous apology. He takes full responsibility for his actions and describing it as one of his darkest times in his life. But yet he didn't apologize to Cassie in that Instagram post that's now deleted. Wow. The indictment alleged that Combs and his associates often lured women into his orbit under the pretense of a romantic relationship. Once the women were in his world, Combs then used force, threats, coercion, including drugs, to keep them obedient and compliant, to push their participation in freak-offs, the indictment said. Exactly. That's the point of the drugs, is to do what I want to you that you probably wouldn't want to do if I asked you, such as anal sex, group sex. That's the purpose of the drugging. You're incapacitated, so I can do whatever I want to you. I can take pictures, I can film, I can have other people sexually assault you, men, women, probably, put objects in private parts, canals, just nasty. He's nasty. He's rumored now to like women, men, and children. He's another R. Kelly. He doesn't even care who you are. What did I tell you? The only thing left is bestiality and death. Has he had sexual relations with animals? I wouldn't put it past him. He's probably watched porn 24/7. He's probably got videos of other people, just regular pornography. He's probably uploaded his own videos to Pornhub and different porn sites. He's nasty. And now we got all these grown people saying he sexually assaulted them when they were children, boy children, girl children. I don't believe a lot of these people are lying. This to me is a repeat of R. Kelly, just on a bigger scale with the freak-offs and the drugs and the partying. That's it. But it's the same MO. And I won't doubt that Sean probably was groomed as a child, molested as a child. That's where he's learning this sick behavior. And he has not gotten help for this deviance. And a lot of people don't get help. And they end up becoming adult offenders. Most offenders were groomed as children, were sexually assaulted as children. That's a proven fact. Has Sean been assaulted as a child? I don't know. Will we hear that he was assaulted? We'll wait and see. Who else will come out with a lawsuit against him? Because the list is getting long. We don't have enough fingers and toes. Because naturally, none of us are octopuses. So we ain't got all these tentacles floating around attached to our bodies. But my goodness, it's getting ridiculous. 120 plus the other people who are already on the books claiming he assaulted them. Now he's reaching out to people off of devices from jail. And I won't doubt those guys, their privileges are going to be taken. And they're probably going to be watching the officers as well to see if there's any hanky-panky going on with them doing any deviant behavior, deviant messaging on behalf of Sean. So everybody wants to get fired, get in a hole for a bisexual entertainer. I said that. I don't sugarcoat anything over here. You all want to go down the rabbit hole for a gay man who don't care nothing about you and wouldn't have any dealings with you if he was free except for screwing you. That's about it. Literally. Because as I said, he does not discriminate. White, black, Hispanic, biracial, he don't care. Short hair, long hair, red hair, no hair. Hell, probably one limb missing. What does he care? He's a freak. Now, how you get down behind closed doors is your business. You a man like a man, you a man like a woman, you a man want a man and a woman in the bed with you, that's your business. But when you are drugging people to sexually assault and film them, abuse, torture them, that is against the law. And Sean knows he's a cooked bird. I think in his mind, he thinks this case is only about Cassie Ventura, so long as nobody else can shamoozle their way into court to testify, to aid to her allegations against him. I think he thinks in his mind that he's in the clear, but he's not. He's not in the clear. Because we don't know how these other witnesses, bystanders are going to play a part in the trial. And as you heard in the commentary I read earlier, his lawyers are saying that the prosecutors have lied about their, I guess, witnesses, that they only really have one witness, but not a number two. We will see. That's the latest developments. During this live stream, I talked about Gypsy Rose. She claims she's going to go silent to preserve her family and keep her life private now that she will be, having a baby soon. She's already named the girl child Aurora. I believe it's Aurora. What is it? Rainey Urker, whatever. You mean Anderson, because you're still married. Miss Aurora, we're going to pray for you as a baby because you're into a tainted situation of a woman possibly still will be married when you come into the world. And she left her husband 3 months after moving in with him from prison. And your mother conspired to kill her own mother. And some feel as though she may not be a good role model parent for a baby. You're entitled to your opinion. But I don't see her going silent for long because she needs the public. The same people probably don't like talking bad about her, ridiculing her. She still needs those who give her affirmation. So see, it's a double-edged sword. I want to be on social media, but I don't like people talking bad about me. I don't like them saying things about me because, she whined and cried about that when she was with Ryan. And he tried to tell her, you don't have any control over anything about you. It is what it is. You don't have control. So you have to deal with it. But naturally, she's a human being. Nobody wants people saying, derogatory things about them. But you did conspire to kill your mother. Some people believe you should still be incarcerated alongside the other young man who killed your mother. Some people feel like you used Ryan. You don't really know who you are. You don't know who you are. And that's true. You don't know who you are because you've been incarcerated since 20-something years of age. You didn't have a childhood with Dee Dee. So you are messed up. And there's nothing wrong with, being messed up because you didn't have a choice. Now, you didn't have to conspire to kill your mother, but you did. Water under the bridge. But the point is, you've gotten out free, and perhaps you're just not making good, sound decisions. And possibly you should not have married Ryan in prison. You should have just got out, dated him, whomever. But you still probably would have had a problem even just dating a man because you don't know if the man is dating you for you or dating you for attention, dating you because he's lonely. And then people judge the men who date you. Why would they want to date a woman who's murdered their mother, conspired to murder their mother? And naturally, many people have unalive people and they have mates when they get out of prison. They marry, date people while locked up. You're entitled to your opinion on that subject matter. But do you all believe she has the same mindset that she had when she conspired to kill her mother? That's the point. And is this child going to be safe in the hands of Gypsy Rose Blanchard? Should she be having a child? Will DHS be trying to watch and monitor her? Because I think that's what a lot of people are waiting on. I hate to say this, is for her to fuck up. Do something crass to where the state intervenes in her personal life. Starts knocking on her door. And I don't think she needed a dog. I don't think she needed a cat. I don't think she needs a baby. I think she should have got out and went to school, got an education, some type of trade, some counseling, and then down the road, decide if she wants a child or a pet. Just as quick as she got that dog, the dog was left behind. For whatever reason, their agreement for him to keep the dog, however it went, it still sounds crazy because she's the one who did want the damn dog. And she argued about that on that life after lockup nonsense. So some will probably question that as well. What was the real reason she didn't take the dog with her? That's why I'm saying, if we're questioning about a damn dog, possession of a dog, what the hell does she need a baby for? Need one. Because she needs to learn Gypsy Rose. She needs to come into a new existence of one, liking herself, accepting herself, and learning how to navigate free with no obligations until she feels ready to be obligated with a child, a pet, and also a relationship. It's sad and pathetic. It doesn't work out with Ken because, as I said before in the earlier part of this live, Ken is the one who left her while in prison. So if a man will leave you locked up, he will leave you free. Bingo card. Checkmate. That's on God. So what's different between back then when she was locked up and now, Mr. Urker? Why did you leave her when she was locked up? Obviously, she cared for you. She was wrapped up into you. So she thought, and see, I got a feeling that's what's going to happen with Ken now. Just as quick as she thought she was wrapped up with Ken, he left her high and dry. She was dating and talking to other men, getting money, hooked up with Ryan, so in love with him, didn't get out. Now she wants to say, oh, I didn't really care for him like he cared for me. It's bullshit. So now you're saying the same thing about Ken. Oh, well, he's really my first love, and he's really the one I wanted, but he left me. That's the reason why you don't need to be fooling with him, because he did leave you. Because if he left you locked up, he can leave you free. And something, he will leave you. Because he may be doing this just for attention himself. And the way he talked to you during one of the live streams when you were going live on Instagram, TikTok, or whatever, he's wanting to take a walk and you were going live and he was like, oh, you're still on there? Right. Because that's your life, sitting in front of a camera, talking to people about absolutely nothing, when you should be enjoying the company of your man. Enjoying freedom, trying to better yourself, go to school, get an education. That's what you need to be focusing on instead of talking through a cell phone and giving everybody the latest events and crying and moaning about what you don't like people are saying and doing and talking about Ryan and this, that, and the other. And oh, me and Ken we're doing good and woo, woo, woo. It's like you have something to prove. And that's where your downfall is going to come. Because guess what? The same people that put you on a pedestal are the same ones that'll knock you off, and they'll be the same ones that douse you with gasoline when you fall off. That's the truth. Like, share, subscribe, drop your comments below. Follow the Queen on the Newsbreak app. I have content over there. Follow me over there. You'll get a notification when I go live, upload a video, also when I post, and when I comment on said articles. And if you'd like to donate to the network, $Ganji 129 Cash App. Thank you for your time. Have a wonderful week. I will post a movie of the week, and it will be a throwback from the 70s or the 80s. Holidays coming up. Please be safe if you're going to be in Miami, traveling on the roads. Mind the children. And if you see something, say something. Be a part of the solution, not a problem. 2-part live, everybody. Gypsy Rose, going silent on social media. Sean Puffy Combs not abiding by the rules in the jail, reaching out to witnesses. It's called tampering. Is it true? What will happen on Friday at his hearing? Will it be able to be released to the public? We will see. Thank you for joining me. You have been listening to The Vault Excel.